Ladies and gents, we got a chance to speak to Willow himself, Warwick Davis. Hey, Warwick.
All right, Uma, how you doing?
I'm very good. Let me get the gushing out of the way right now and say that this is beyond a pleasure. I'm such a huge fan.
Oh, that's so
Um,
nice. Thank you very much. Thank you.
uh, so I've got a Willow story for you before I begin, which is I
Cool.
think I was 9 or 10 when I first saw Willow, but I never saw it in completion because over here in Malaysia, we have an incredibly overzealous censorship board, and they cut out this scene with pigs because of Muslims and Islam and pork.
I
And
see.
so it was only 10 years later that I actually got to see what I think remains one of the greatest scenes in fantasy film. And so it was a good 10 years before I actually saw the movie in its completion. But yeah, tell me this. I know we live in an age where everything old is new again, but it's been over 30 years since the original film. And I was wondering whether Willow was a character that you had moved on from. Was it something that you always wanted to revisit, or were you done?
Well, I never really moved on because, every day someone would remind me of how much they loved the film and would love to see a sequel. So it was always on my mind. Yeah, you definitely don't move on, especially something in your career like Willow that was so huge at the time.
So I'm assuming when they came to you, it was an immediate yes.
Well, it was weird. I was kind of in the process of development of the series. I was kind of part of that process. So for me, it was never a kind of phone call saying, "Do you want to play Willow again?" Kind of, I could see it on the horizon coming, looming large. And I'm thinking, well, is this going to really ever happen? Because, I've learned over the years until you're sat on the set for the first time on the first
Right.
day of filming, you should never count on anything happening because it can easily be cancelled. But yeah, with Willow, I kind of, before I knew it, I was indeed on the set in Wales once again with my long wig on, looking very much like Willow, and definitely an older version though.
And in these intervening years, with all of your experience, how did that change your play on the character?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's 34 years. I was 17 when I played Willow the first time round. Very naive, very young, full of optimism and hope. I still have optimism and hope now, but I'm a lot older and more experienced. And so brought all of that kind of life experience and my mature years to the character. Instead of kind of fighting that and trying to play him younger, I thought, well, no, let's have him at my age, even though the time from Willow to the time we find Willow in the series isn't quite as long. But I lent into that kind of more mature Willow because I think he's a more interesting character as well.
Yeah, I mean, they gave us the first three episodes to watch, and I'm a huge fan of the original film, so this is everything that I wanted. But correct me if I'm wrong, and it feels like the series does something different with regards to tone. Am I right in thinking that you kind of lean into the comedy in a little more Princess Bride-ish kind of way? Is that right?
Absolutely, you hit the nail on the head there.
Oh,
John
cool.
Kasdan, our writer, he's a huge fan of the Princess Bride. I know that because all of our kind of pseudonyms while we were filming, so it didn't give the game away, were characters from the Princess Bride.
Fantastic.
Set down the call sheets, and nobody could identify who was who. Which was, yeah, John loves that. He loves the humor and the magic of that particular movie, which I do as well.
Oh, it comes off and it works.
And he would often say to me, a few years ago, I did a series with Ricky Gervais called Life's Too Short. He'd say, right, today, let's go real Life's Too Short with this scene. So that meant just make it as fun as you can, forget the script and go with some improv.
Tell me this. Are there, I mean, we've got Willow, you've had your feet in the Star Wars universe for the longest time, and you keep going back there. Are there any characters, any shows? Is it that you want to revisit? Is it time for a real Leprechaun reboot? Is that what we're thinking?
I mean, they ask me all the time about this. What did
I
I do?
think I enjoyed those movies more than I should.
Yeah. I mean, it's good that you can admit that. Takes a man to admit they enjoy it. But thank you for that. I enjoyed making those films. I'm not ashamed of them. I'm proud of them. I think they're fun. They're kind of
They're
what they are.
fun.
They're not meant to be
Yeah.
anything else. Just kind of a good kind of fun horror flick. But yeah, if I was to go back to anything, I suppose it would be again something in the Star Wars galaxy, namely a Jedi kind of character. I'd love to have a lightsaber just once. Kind of
Yes.
ticked all the other boxes. I've done droids, done aliens, done characters with blasters, but I've never done anything with a lightsaber. So that would be the bucket list to tick off.
You know what? You're in the same room with Kathleen Kennedy these days, so you should just be like, "Hey, listen, Mace
Well,
Windu got a
I've
purple
dropped his hint.
lightsaber."
I dropped the
Yeah,
hint. Yeah.
exactly.
I bring my toy one along to junkets like this, and hope she notices how cool it looks in my hand.
Absolutely. Warwick, I'm being told to wrap. Just one last thing. I was just speaking to John, and I was telling him that I think Peck is the best made up slur ever because with the hard P, the K, it just works beautifully.
It does
And
work well.
he said that I need to get you to say it because no one says it better than you.
Okay. Don't call me a peck.
Oh, I love it. That's perfect. Thank you so much, man. It's
And
been an
that is in the
absolute
series
pleasure.
as well. You'll be delighted to know.
Oh, fantastic. Thanks so much, Warwick. It's
Thank
been
you.
a pleasure.
Cheers.
Willow.
Thank you so much for checking out our video. Don't forget to watch our other interviews right here on YouTube. Sound off in the comments below. Also like, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your family. You know what to do.